Stop, my lords! Here comes Jocasta coming from the house. She will help settle the fight you argue about.
Shame on you! Why have you raised this foolish, squabbling fight? Oedipus, Creon, go into the house and don't make your problems bigger than what they already are.
Sister, he thinks he has the right to banish or kill me.
He is right, for I find him plotting against me!
I beg you, Oedipus, trust him in this.
Spare him, don't kill him.
Do you know what you ask?
He has been your trustworthy friend. Do not drive him away, dishonored on a false charge.
So you're asking for my death or banishment?
May the sun god forbid. May I die without blessing if I had such thoughts.
Well, let him go then. If I must die the time sword or be sent out dishonored into exile, then I shall still hate him, wherever he is.
I see you're very dangerous when you're out of temper.
Go away! Leave!
I'll go. You have not known me, but they have, and they have known my innocence.
Jocasta, why don't you tell Oedipus the story?
Tell me, since he keeps his own mouth clean of any guilt.
King Laius had a son. He tied him up and left him on a pathless hillside. Apollo cursed the son of Laius, saying he shall kill his father. But years later, King Laius was killed by 4 highway robbers at a place where 3 roads meet.
Oh dear Jocasta, I could run mad. I thought I heard you say that he was killed at a place where 3 roads meet. Where is this place? Where was he murdered? How long ago?
Phocius is the country. The news came to the city just before you became king. What is the thought that troubles your heart?
Don't ask me yet. Tell me of Laius. How did he look? How old or young was he?
He was just like you.
Oh God, I think I have called curses of myself on ignorance.
What do you mean?
I am afraid that the old seer had eyes. Tell me, how was his company? Did he travel alone or with many?
There were 5 of them in 1 carriage. Only the servant escaped home safely.
This servant, where is he now?
When he saw that Laius was dead and you were king, he came to me and asked to be sent to the fields to be my shepherd, and that he might only see the city from afar. He was a good and honest man, and I granted his request.
I wish he could come back. I must see this shepherd.
I will send for him. He will come, but Oedipus, I must know what disquiets you so.
Dear Jocasta, I fear I may have said too much. I am the son of Clovis, king of Corinth, and my mother is Moraga. When I was a young man, I visited the Pytho without my parents' knowledge and was told that I would one day lie with my mother and was doomed to murder my father. When I heard this, I fled Corinth and vowed to never see my parents again, determined to see this dreadful oracle unfulfilled. As I journeyed away from the city, I came to a crossroads and encountered a carriage as you described. They would not let me pass on the road. I became angry and I struck the man. I killed them. I killed them all. If there be any connection between that man and Laius, then I have cursed myself.
Sir, we too fear these things, but until you see the shepherd face to face and hear his story, hope.
What do you want to do with him?
I'll tell you if I find that his story is the same as yours.
Why? What so particularly did you learn from my story?
You said that you spoke of highway robbers who killed Laius. Now, if he uses the same number, it was not I who killed him.
Be sure, at least, that this was how he was told the story. He cannot unsay it now, for everyone in the city heard it, not I alone.
Right, but yet, send for someone for the peasant to bring him here. Do not neglect it.
I will send quickly.
May destiny ever find me. My insolence breeds the tyrant. Insolence in its glutton with serpent. Unseasonable, unprofitable, climbs to the rooftop plunges. When such deeds are held in honor, God's service perish.
Princes of the land, I have had thought to go to the gods' temples, bringing in my hand gifts of incense and garland, as you see.
Might I learn from you where's the king?
He's in his home with his children.
God bless you and your family.
Thank you. What do you have to tell us?
Good
Why are
news.
you here?
Good news, lady.
What is it? Who sent you?
I've been sent from Corinth. My news is joyful, yet troubling.
What is the news of double meaning?
The people of Isthmus will choose Oedipus to be king.
What about their king?
He has died.
Be quick and run to the king with news.
Why have you sent for me?
He is from Corinth, And he tells us that your father has died.
Is this true, messenger?
Yes, your father has, and you are to be king.
Oh, dear Jocasta, they prophesied that I should kill my father, but he is dead, and not by my hand. This gives me great comfort, but I still fear the living. I still fear Moraga, Clovis's wife.
What about her frightened you?
A terrible oracle.
Can it be told?
Once a time, Clovis said that I would kill my father and lie with my mother.
This is the fear which drove you out?
I did not wish to kill my father.
Why I brought you this news to earn your thanks when I had come home safe.
I won't go near my parents.
You don't know what you're doing.
What do you mean? Tell me.
If your homecoming is checked by fears,
Yes?
all your fears are empty.
How is that?
Because Clovis was not your father,
He wasn't my father?
no more than I.
How can you be my father just as much as him?
Neither of us begat you.
Then why did he call me son?
He took you from me, as a gift.
Did he love so much what wasn't his?
His childlessness persuaded him.
Did you buy me or find me?
On Citharon slopes you were found.
Why were you there?
I was in charge of mountain flocks.
You were a shepherd.
Yes,
What ails me?
it was your ankles.
What do you mean?
I untied your feet.
My swaddling clothes brought me disgrace?
So from this you were called your name.
Was this my parents' doing?
I don't know. The man who gave you me has more knowledge than I.
Then you did not find me. You took me from someone else?
Yes, another shepherd, one of Laius's men.
Is he alive still? I must see him. Do any of you know of this shepherd?
I believe he is the peasant you have sent for. Jocasta will know best.
Oedipus, I beg you, stop. Do not have this out if you have any care for your own life. What I am now suffering is enough.
I will not be persuaded to let the chance of finding out this whole thing clearly.
Oh, Oedipus, God help you from the knowledge of who you really are.
Why has the queen gone from us in such wild rushing grief?
O citizens of Thebes, I come bearing grim news.
What's more to tell?
Short is to hear and tell. Our glorious King Jocasta's dead.
How? By whose hand?
By her own hand. When she came raging into the house, she went straight to her bed, sobbing uncontrollably, all the weight of her grief crashing on her all at once. Then she groaned and cursed the bed in which she committed the sin. After that, she died? I don't know, for Oedipus distracted us from seeing. He burst upon us shouting, bellowing terribly, and led by some invisible guide, he rushed on the two doors. There he saw his wife hanging, the twisted rope around her neck. When he saw her, he cried out fearfully and cut the dangling noose. Then as she lay, poor woman, on the ground, what happened after was terrible to see. He tore the brooches, fastening her robe, away from her, and lifting him high, dashed them into his own eyeballs, shrieking out, "They will never see the crime I have committed or had done upon me." And the bleeding eyeballs gushed, sluggish, oozing drops like black rain and bloody hail poured down. He shouted for someone to unbar the doors and show him to all the men of Thebes, his father's killer, revealing his true colors. As a king, he must stay true to his word.
I am Jarod Duncan, and I go to Clovis High School. I was Queen Jocasta.
And why were you queen?
Because our whole class was made up of women, And in traditional Greek theater, when they did shows, it was all men who played all the parts, even the women. So we thought it would be fun to kind of flip that on its head and have me, the only guy, play the only girl part and have all the other girls play guys to, in a way, honor the Greeks. Well, I am the wife of Oedipus, who is the king and the main character in this play. I basically come in and try to console Oedipus because he's going through a bit of a crisis because he's realizing what he's been through. He's like, oh my gosh, I married my mother and had kids by her and killed my father. The prophecy is fulfilled. And this play is kind of his journey to realizing, oh my gosh, I fulfilled the prophecy. And Jocasta kind of tries to console him and tries to help him let it go, but he just can't because Oedipus is so stubborn, and that leads to her untimely suicide. Loved this experience. I loved the teachers that were here. They were fantastic, and also the people that were in here. I really got to meet very awesome and diverse people, but even though we were diverse, we were all the same, and we were all bound by our love of theater, and that was just amazing.